Hi, I'm Ranger Karen with the New Orleans Jazz National Historical Park. We're one of more than 400 parks in the National Park Service, but we're the only one that's dedicated to the uniquely American art form of jazz. And we're here in New Orleans, the city where jazz was born. This music was first played in the early 1900s, but it's still alive and evolving today. I want to welcome you to today's Golden Hour concert and conversation. Today we'll feature the music of Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers, and hosting our conversation will be Nick Spitzer, the producer and host of American Roots. If you're watching live, I want you to send us your comments and your questions, and I hope everyone will share this video with your friends. With that, I'll turn things over to Nick Spitzer. Enjoy the show.
Thanks, Ranger Karen, and welcome to American Roots in the Golden Hour stream. Be sure and send us your comments. Trumpeter Kermit Ruffins grew up in New Orleans' lower 9th Ward, began playing in junior high. He discovered Louis Armstrong when he was 18 and co-founded the Rebirth Brass Band in 1983. A decade later, he founded the Barbecue Swingers, and he put a grill on a truck at his gigs. Smoked a lot of barbecue, among other things. And he got out on the second lines with that grill, too. Maybe you've seen him if you've been in New Orleans. Kermit swam in the Industrial Canal as a kid. He caught bullfrogs for the family to eat, and he cooked goat and turtles. He's dedicated his life to making great music in New Orleans and now operates the Mother-in-Law Lounge, where he and many others play. But tonight we have him here at Esplanade Studios here in New Orleans. Welcome the great musicians and entertainers, Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers.
All aboard. Now the pale moon shining on the fields below, and folks are crooning songs soft and low. You need tell me, girl, because I know, yes, when it's sleepy time down south, the south wind's blowing through the pinewood tree, and folks down here live a life of ease when that twilight brings that evening breeze. When it's sleepy time down south, yeah, steamboats up the river, they're coming and going, splashing the night away by the river. Hear those banjos ringing and the folks are singing, and they dance unto the break of day. Southland with this dreamy song. You take me back there where I belong, right in New Orleans zone. Ya did love the bubble, did the bubble, don't say, bibbly up, bop, 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 whoa. Good evening, everybody. All aboard. Hottest city that you've ever seen. You gotta love them red beans. You gotta love them butter beans. Way down south in New Orleans. If you're not from New Orleans, let me hear you scream. I hope you're feeling better now, like my homeboys do. When you're feeling down and out, and you feel there's no way out, you get dropped off in New Orleans. Drop me off in New Orleans. New Orleans, it's the most beautiful city that you ever seen. You gotta love them red beans, you gotta love them butter beans. Way down south in New Orleans. If you're not from New Orleans, let me hear you scream. I hope you're feeling better now, like my homegirls do. When you're feeling down and out, and you feel there's no way out, you get dropped off in New Orleans. Drop me off in New Orleans. Drop me off in New Orleans. Bop, bop, beat, bop, beat up. Ah! Drop me off in New Orleans, baby. All aboard?
Kermit, I get the feeling you like it.
Oh, a lot.
How many songs have you written about New Orleans?
That's a good question, Nick. I may have wrote about maybe 100 songs about New Orleans. No, maybe about 8.
Good, you can count them on 10 fingers.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey, we got people listening out there, and I know they're all screaming along with you every time you say that. You know, if you want to give us a line, we can hear where you're from. Tell us where you're calling in from. Last week, I think we had South Africa, and we had Asia.
Beautiful.
We had all kinds of people. So they're out there. We just can't see them.
Right.
But they can see us.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I think so.
In these times, we have to do what we have to do
Yeah.
to bring this music to the world no matter what.
Yeah, and you open with "Sleepy Time Down South." I think that's a good comforting song.
Yeah, I mean,
in these days.
Louis Armstrong used to open up all his shows with "Sleepy Time Down South," so I just stole that idea and went with it up till today, since back in the days.
I think Armstrong's probably
that
watching
far back
too.
in the days, but back
You
in the
think Louis is watching out there tonight?
Louis is watching us right
Gotta
now,
be
smiling
watching.
down on us.
I know he smiles on everything you do, man. When did you first find his music?
I was about maybe 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
I was down at, trying to remember the name of the sandwich shop. But anyway, I pressed Louis Armstrong and I heard "When You're Smiling." And when I heard that song, I said, that's how to play trumpet, and I want to play like that.
Yeah.
So right after that, I lost it. I just lost it.
Yeah.
Just start following everything that Louis Armstrong played and everything he stand for.
Yeah. And Louis, of course, went away up to New York and Queens and only came back a little bit, came back to be King of Zulu.
Mm-hmm.
He was upset in the 50s here about segregation, that sort of thing. But you've committed your whole life to really being here, making it happen.
Yeah, we're blessed to have so many music lovers that come to this beautiful city to the point where we can stay here and make a living. And we do a lot of traveling. So a little bit of boat, and we put it all together, and here we are.
Just found out we have music lovers right now in Chile, Miami, Roswell, Georgia, England, Wilmington, Delaware, Galveston, Texas, Chicago, Australia, South Africa, and Los Angeles. And that's only half the list.
Beautiful.
I don't want to give the list the whole night. I want to get back to you. What's up next here?
Oh, man, I think I'm going to do a little tune entitled, another original, "When I Die, You Better Second Line."
Let's not think about the dying, just the second line part.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Nick.
get
All
them around
aboard.
out there.
When I die, you better second line. When I die, you better second line. You better strike up the band every day of the week, parading my soul up and down the streets. When I die, you better second line. Oh, when I die, you better second line. When I die, you better monkey shine. You better put my trumpet on my side for the big jam session beyond the skies. When I die, you better second line. Oh, when I die, you better second line. Second line. When I die, you better second line. And take your time. You better put my coffin on top of the barn and put the jukebox on a closer walk. When I die, you better second line. All aboard. keeper on my side in case the pretty girls think I'm still alive. When I die, you better second line. You better second line. You better second line. You better second line. I want 15 white horses and 16 showgirls to sing and dance me a song. I want you to bring me underneath the Claiborne Avenue Bridge and bring me back down to the Mother-in-Law Lounge. And when we get by George Cozy Corner, I want you to strike up that Didn't He Ramble? When I die, when you die, you better second line. All aboard? You better second line. Ta-da! Thank you, music lovers. Thank you. All aboard?
Hey, they're all aboard out there right now in Cairo, Egypt, and I think it was Cairo, Illinois. Make that Cairo, Egypt. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Tacoma, Washington, Maine, Vermont, Detroit, San Antonio, Florida, Brooklyn, and somebody said you were a national treasure.
One of those guys from HBO Treme.
Hey, man, take it. No problem. You know, somebody said, how can we tip the band? I think the best way might be to go to the Mother-in-Law when it opens back up for full time, right?
That sounds good.
And go for those Basin Street records out there in the world.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
support
Go to
them.
Basin Street. Go to Basin Street Records and tip the band.
There you go. and right tonight, we're the Park Service is paying the freight.
That's right.
So that's good. So we thank the Park Service.
beat that.
So just sit back, relax, draw a cool one, whatever you like, and join in with Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers.
All aboard? Got to give a little, take a little, let your poor hearts break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You've got to laugh a little, cry a little, before the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we'd have the world and all its charm. And when the world is through with us, we'd have each other's arms. You've got to win a little, lose a little, always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. When a little, lose a little, always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Oh yes, yes. That's the story of, that's the glory of L-O-V-E, and nothing but love.
Hey, if you're just joining us, we're here with Kermit Ruffins, the Barbecue Swingers, the Golden Hour with American Roots, right here in New Orleans at Esplanade Studios. Kermit, how'd you get the name Barbecue Swingers?
Well, I woke up one day, Nick, and we was playing a lot of shows at the time, especially at Vaughn's, where we played for 20 years. And I was always tailgating, because I always wanted to cook a little food for the band members on our break time, in between breaks, and And then one time I decided to cook for the whole neighborhood and the whole audience. And I woke up one morning right out of my sleep and said, Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers.
There you go.
So that night I said it on stage, and I can remember Kevin, my bass player, Kevin saying, so I'm a barbecue swinger now, huh, boss? I'll never forget.
Well, how much barbecue swinging are you doing in these tough times?
Oh, man, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually feeding the neighborhood actually maybe 4 or 5 times a day. 200 to 300 plates a day. We're just shelling out from the MotherinLaw Lounge.
Yeah. So, when you'd go out and do these gigs, I think people would smell the barbecue and come to the show sometimes, too.
Yeah, we already had an audience. We had a
Right.
set audience. We had all the beautiful Tulane Loyola students start following us everywhere we played. And those kids are now adults, and they have kids, and they're still following us. So they were already there. So I just wanted to barbecue. And it's nothing like the frame of mind of a picnic every day.
Yeah.
And that's the frame of mind I wake up with every day. Just wake up with the frame of mind of having a picnic and a jazz show at the same time.
Who are the barbecue swingers you have here with you tonight?
Well,
These guys have been with you for a long time. You want
Yeah.
to give them a little...
Jerry Barberan Anderson on the boom booms.
Yeah, have Jerry Anderson
Yeah.
back there, yeah. And Jerry tells me he went to high school with you.
Yeah,
Clark,
we went to Clark Senior High School.
Jerry, could you lean in? Is there a story you could tell us about Kermit?
No, Jerry, you want to
Just
Jerry
say
might
it,
tell
say
you
it on
what
the
about
mic,
the
Jerry.
stories.
The mic is open now.
No, Mike, not tonight. Not tonight,
No
love.
open mic, Jerry.
I thought you were good friends. You'd have something really nice to say about him.
Oh, we got some stories. Though.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Okay, so back over here, Mr.
Now,
Bassman.
Jerry and I have been playing together for about 33 years.
Oh, 33 years? Yeah. He doesn't look any worse for wear.
Right.
And he's one of Danny Barker's kinfolk.
That's right.
And of course, Danny
Lucian
Barker
Barberan.
he was a mentor of yours.
That's right.
and-
Paul Barberan.
Yeah.
It's all Jerry kinfolks.
Yeah. That's
his
quite a
uncle.
lineage to be in there, Jerry.
That's right.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Jerry, come over to the mic a little more. I have one other thought for you.
I'm trying. I'm hanging in there.
I know you're hanging, but here's my question. You have to play in a club setting, keep time. But I'm sure you do some second line type drumming. Is it hard for you to shift back and forth between the parade beat and all these other things? I mean, Kermit's a demanding,
Well, you don't know the half of it. Jerry is one of the members of the Trim Sidewalk Steppers.
Oh, is
and nobody in the city can outdance Jerry.
Is that right? That's how he
Nobody
keeps
can
that.
out-second line Jerry.
That's how he
So-
keeps that slender
So
figure.
that's why he knows. If you can dance like Jerry, you definitely can play the drums like Jerry.
That's all right. Wow, we're gonna have to go to the Jerry School of Dance.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll all learn how to buck jump.
Don't do it. Don't try that at home.
No, but let me, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry got some moves for
Jerry,
your
this
ass.
is your second chance
did
now.
I say that?
Do you have a story you could tell us about Kermit in high school?
It's hard to remember.
I don't say much of nothing.
Yeah. I've heard of
I'm
drinking
very
the fifth, but not taking the fifth. Okay. We'll leave him alone. So back here on bass, who we got on bass?
Kevin Morris. I met Kevin down at the Caledonian. And I think it was Trombone Shorty's Club after the Caledonian. And he was playing with James Andrews. And I hired Kevin one time. And after that, me and Kevin have been playing together for 33 years now.
Is that right?
Kevin is a graduate of Xavier University.
All right.
And one of the smartest cats in the band.
Yeah. Oh, one of the smartest cats. Oh, yeah. So who is the smartest then?
Well, we got to flip a coin.
So how is it being in the rhythm section, backing up Kermit all over these years? Does it ever get old, or just so, okay, Kermit, enough of that?
It was shaky in the beginning
Yeah.
because of the drummings.
Mm.
You know, in between Shannon, Jerry, and Hurlin, and all them good drummers, it was quite an experience.
It's a land of 1,000 drummers around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They molded me well.
Yeah. You're pretty.
After I got beat around a little.
Oh yeah. Well, they got to teach you the rules of engagement, right? Yeah. And you play a lot of music on your own too, right?
Yeah, playing church and started a band about 3 years ago.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you keep it on the sacred side on Sundays sometimes.
Absolutely.
Good man. Mm-hmm. And who we got over here on the piano?
Well, we've been blessed for about 8 years now, almost 9 years. Mr. Yoshitaka Z2 from Osaka, Japan.
Yeah.
And Z2 has been swinging out with us. And man, when I tell you we've been having the time of our life, thanks to Z2 with that brilliant piano playing.
Yeah.
And his beautiful wife, Miss Haruka, she plays with us sometime. And he has a beautiful baby boy named Showtime.
Yeah. Showtime? And Z2 is the nickname for those of you who are not fluent in Japanese and ready to move quickly. Z2, how did you find out about jazz? Did you grow up with that in Japan, or did you come to New Orleans looking for it? How'd you get here?
Yeah, anyway, so I have played in Japan for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And you played piano?
Yeah, so as a, but actually,
Come a little close to the mic. There you go.
I met jazz so when I was a university student. So when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're at the Kermit Ruffins School of Musical Knowledge. Huh? How is it different to be here playing the Mother-in-Law and all the gigs around New Orleans and being somebody that studies jazz and reads the notes? It's got to be a little different, huh?
Yeah, so anyway, so Kermit band, no rehearsal, no music sheet, so ever. Yeah, so but so.
I wonder if anybody's out there watching in Japan. Please let us know that, okay? And make sure that you feel like Z2's doing a good job for you. Hey, it's so great. What a great band that you've got.
Oh, thank you.
And the Mother-in-Law. A few years ago, you made a decision to take over and run one of the great clubs of the city, Ernie Cato's MotherinLaw Lounge, named after mother-in-law. I mean, that was a big step to not just be the band leader and player, but also to run a club.
Yeah, it's a blessing that Ernie Cato, I was lucky to hang out with Ernie Cato every day of the week. He lived right next door to Joe's Cozy Corner.
In the
back in the 90s or the early 2000s. I'm not going to remember exactly. And then he took over the bar, and he passed away, and I saw the bar empty for about a year or two.
Such a beautiful place.
And I said, man, let me call the owner and get this place back up running. When I tell you, I didn't realize how famous Ernie was because he was just right there next to us. Anybody sitting next to you every day of the week, you don't realize how famous they are because, you're right there with them.
Right.
And when I opened the bar, that tune, Mother-in-Law, is just a freaking hit, man.
It's like the soundtrack of the bar.
That's right. And him and his wife, Miss Antoinette, they had a good time at that bar. I went there maybe a few times when he had it open.
Yeah.
And every time I went, it was just this fun atmosphere of musicians just playing and having fun, and some of the best red beans and rice ever. And I'm just so into bars because when I was a kid, my mom was running the bar, 5106 in the Lower Ninth Ward. My cousin had a bar, Moore's Lounge in the Lower Ninth Ward, which I just opened up that club again.
Oh,
now
really?
it's Kermit's Ninth Ward Juke Joint.
Yeah.
And I had it open for about maybe 3 months before this disaster happened. And I'm a bar lover.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just natural for me to walk in there and open that
bars,
place up.
they're so important in any city, but in New Orleans, they're a place for people to gather. Blue Monday, get red beans and rice, hear music, meet your friends. I think Cato used to have all of his bad contracts on the wall. That was a comedy bar.
It really was.
But I mean, bars are important. I mean, this has got to be tough for you running a bar right now.
Yeah, of course. We're blessed to look forward to the future right now. I mean, we got a unwanted break. So we're all pepped up and ready to roll again. But we have to stay safe and take care of each other and pray and hope for the best.
Well, you've been doing so much for people, not just feeding them. You had your own stream. You'd been doing broadcasts on Facebook from the Mother-in-Law. And the Park Service has got you tonight, and we'll get you on American Roots. And people admire you all over the world for what you've been doing, staying home, taking care of business, taking care of your friends and family, and all your fans. Great gig, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the least we can do right now. Do some live streams, feed the neighborhood, and help as many people as possible.
Well, you're lifting some spirits here tonight and all around the world. What you want to do to carry us forward?
You ready for some more music?
That's what I meant to say.
Well, that's the easy
I
part.
sounded like a preacher when I said, "What could you do to carry us forward, Kermit?" Yeah, music. How about some music?
Thanks, Nick.
What's on your mind?
Let's see. We never have a playlist, so I'm just going off the top of my
Oh, I
head.
thought you were reading it between the splinters on the floor.
Never had a playlist in our life all over the world.
Yeah.
We may have a beginning and an end, but everything in between, we never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, playlist is right behind your eyes. Make him welcome one more time, Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers. I can hear everyone out there cheering for you.
We're going to do a little bit of Paul Barbaran, second line. Orleans you greet. Everybody come and get in line. We gonna do a dance we call the second line. Oh, now everyone you greet. They'll be dancing, dancing in the street, y'all. Oh, the young man, the old man, and everybody'll be doing the second line. Oh, now when you hear that beat, it's New Orleans you greet. Young and old second line. To the beat, to the beat, to the beat of the band. Oh, now everyone you greet. They'll be dancing, oh dancing, oh dancing in the street, y'all. Oh, the young man, the old man, and everybody'll be doing the second line. music lovers, and we're live coming to you from New Orleans, Louisiana. Yours truly, Kermit, Ruffins, and the Barbecue Swingers. Thank y'all for tuning in. And by the way, who that saying they gonna beat them Saints? When the Saints go marching in, when the Saints go marching in, oh Lord, I like to be in that number. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, when the sun refuses to shine, but I'm dealing with the sun, when the sun refuses to shine. Oh Lord, I'd like to be with my baby. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, I once had a little playmate. She used to walk and smoke with me. Now my playmate has learned religion, and now she turned her back on me. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, but I'm dealing with the Saints marching in. Oh Lord, I like to be in New Orleans when the Saints go back to the Super Bowl. marching in. When the saints go marching in, oh Lord, I'd like to be in their number. Oh, when the saints go marching in.
Yeah. I make a lot of people happy out there. Hey, as far as who dat go, we got a lot of who dats calling in, checking in with you, man. You said the magic words, who dat, who and dat. And here, how about this one? I don't want this to go to your head, Kermit. It says, the world does need more Kermits. And that's followed by Kermit for president. Yeah. Stick with the mother-in-law, baby. Yeah. And then club in the Ninth Ward. I think that's where you want to take it. Lots of love for Z2 coming in the comments from all over the world. I love that. And how about Jerry is best on the boom booms? Yeah, boom booms. That sounds like a term from the strip joint or something, the boom
Actually,
booms.
I think Camp Calloway used that.
Oh, is that right?
Some old videos I watched.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's all good out there. People in Memphis, Jersey Shore, Brisbane, Ottawa, Tuscaloosa, Ireland, Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Okay. Indiana, Oakland, Oklahoma City. Man, they're out there. This is so great. One guy said, I so need this music tonight.
It's beautiful.
Music's a healing force, man.
It really is.
Yeah. What was music like in your family as a kid? I mean, were there people playing music and jazz? And I mean, how did you grow up? What was your sound?
When I grew up, I in my household, Commodores, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, all on the radio, huh?
All that good stuff. No, LPs.
Oh, LPs? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And my dad had the reel of reels, so I was listening to a lot of good stuff.
Oh, a lot of great soul music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my uncle Percy Williams, trumpet player, he had a
right.
band called MG Funk.
Right.
My dad, Lloyd Ruffins, he was the manager of that band.
Okay.
And they would have practice at my house a lot. So my uncle played trumpet.
Thank you, Uncle
And he still
Percy.
played trumpet.
Yeah.
And he plays with Irma Thomas now.
Is that right?
And a whole lot of other people.
Yeah.
Percy's one of the baddest trumpet players in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So when I was about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, he would come every Saturday and just let me play into his mouthpiece and play in his horn and play on his trumpet. When he opened that trumpet case, the smell, the shine, as a kid, it was the most incredible thing that I ever seen in my life.
You remember that?
Right about 14 years old, I got a trumpet, and there it is.
Yeah.
Joined the marching band down at Lawless Senior High School in the Lower Ninth Ward, and went to Clark Senior High School.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Phil started the Rebirth Brass Band.
Right.
And it's all history from
Fraser
there.
Brothers.
That's
Well,
right.
someone wrote here, who else went to Clark High School?
Yeah. Jerry went to Clark with me.
Right.
And I have a bunch of friends that hang with me every day of the week at the MotherinLaw Lounge.
Yeah.
That went to Clark Senior High School.
Right.
So we've been doing this. We've been hanging out together for 30 years.
Yeah.
Since we graduated, we've been still hanging together every day of the week.
And around New Orleans, people will always ask you, where'd you go to high school?
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
key. That's the key question.
They didn't know what neighborhood you're from. You know,
They can move
and
on
all that
from
good
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all sneaky detectives about all that kind of stuff. Hey, I want to mention we are in the Esplanade Studios here on beautiful Esplanade Avenue. This is an old Presbyterian church with a gigantic pipe organ behind us, and it's just great to be here with Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers. What else you think you want to go for, Kermit? I know you got an active mind. I feel like I pull the lever on the slot machine, and I'll see what lines up in your eyes.
Yeah, man. I just want to mention that we just did our last CD here entitled "A Beautiful World"
Oh yeah, for Basin Street
with
Records.
Basin Street
Yeah.
Records.
You and Irvin Mayfield.
Yeah, and we had the time of our life in this place.
Yeah.
And that was my first time really coming in here. And this place is freaking beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Yeah.
When I tell you.
Yeah, it feels sacred, but it also feels like ready to let the spirit loose and go the way it's going to go.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So where should the spirit go here at this beautiful church of music and sound?
I'm going to play a little tune entitled "A Paper Moon"
Oh, yeah.
with a little beat bop flair to it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear about the bebop in the mix. Yeah, it always makes me happy to hear a little bebop. You ready for some bebop back there?
simply a paper moon sailing over a cardboard scene. And it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me, pretty baby. It is only a canvas sky sailing over a muslin tree. And it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. And without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. And without your love, pretty baby, it's a melody played, a penny arcade. It's a bottom and belly world, just as phony as it can be. And it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Come along with me down in history. We'll be floating to the moon. We won't come back until our fuel runs out. We'll keep floating into space. Let's make haste. Don't hesitate. We're going to be the first to get there. Everybody's talking, countries are squawking about the latest rockets. Won't you come and fly with me? And we will go as any high as anyone can be. I bet there's nothing there but an awful lot of space and air. Won't you please fly when we're going to the moon? Count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9. Here we go. Now here we go. Be-diddly bum bubble dee boo doo dee baba said boo. Are you ready? I hope your nerves are steady. A humming, 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 humming. Sound of the rocket ship. We're going to the moon and we're not coming back for 1,000 years. Well, all right. I say goodbye, world. Hope you appreciate what you live up on. That's what you live up on. That baby tweeter. Bleep, blah, 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 dee, 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 tweet, dee, dee, bop. We're cutting out. We won't swing out. We'll be floating to the moon. And we hope that you can get there soon.
Heard a little bebop in there. I like when you can take an old pop standard like that, jazz it up, and then throw in some bebop.
You know, I fell in love with Eddie Jefferson. So I kind of stole a little bit of that stuff from Eddie Jefferson.
Yeah, no, I like, you mix a lot of stuff. All kinds of riffs referencing here and there and everywhere. You don't let it limit you, man. You go for whatever you like to put in there.
A lot of fun. Jazz is fun.
Yeah.
Jazz is the heartbeat of the world, the heartbeat of America. And we're just lucky to be born and raised in this beautiful city, New Orleans.
Yeah.
And just the stroke of luck, we're standing here today playing jazz.
Yeah. It's brilliance and it's resilience and it's freedom in the world. If you have questions for Kermit and the band, go ahead and get online there and ask those questions. And they may answer all the legit ones. As many we can get in with the little time we got anyway. So give us a, what do I want to say? A shout. Give us a type. Yeah, we'd be good. We'd be all right.
Can't go wrong.
No. So, Kermit, what comes through your mind when you get up on stage with the mother-in-law? Maybe you give us one on a night in the mother-in-law when it's hooting and hollering, yelling and screaming. Yeah. Give us something to get some hooting and hollering out there in the world. Even though we may not hear it, we'll just imagine.
There's one tune that always stands out, a little tune entitled Skokian.
Oh, yeah.
And Louis made that famous. A lot of people covered it. But that version that Louis Armstrong did is just incredible. And I'm always trying to match it, which is impossible. But we're going to do a little bit of Skokian. All aboard? sing a bing, go Skokie and whoa. Walk away Africa, happy Africa. Take a trip to Africa. They sing a bing, go. Come on along and learn the lingo. Beside a jungle bungalow. Skokie, Skokie, Skokie and Skokie, Skokie, Skokie and Skokie and Skokie, 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 Skokie and Okie dokie, anybody can. Skokie, Skokie, man oh man oh man. Skokie, Skokie, anybody can. Whoa, walk away in Africa, happy Africa. Skokie and ship to Africa. They sing a bing, go. Come on along and learn the lingo. Beside a jungle bungalow. Skokie, Skokie, Skokie and Skokie, Skokie, Skokie and Skokie and the hot drums drumming, hot strings are strumming, warm lips are blissful, kissful. I'm Skokie and the hot drums drumming, hot strings strumming, warm lips, blissful, kissful. I'm Skokie and Skokie and take a trip to Africa, happy Africa. They sing a bingo. Come on along and learn the lingo. Beside a jungle bungalow, Skokie, Skokie, Skokie and Skokie and Skokie and.
If you're just joining us, it's Kermit Ruffins and the Barbecue Swingers in that golden hour. It's just after 7:30 p.m. here in New Orleans. For all you listeners around the world, just in case you wondered, yes, that's a little bit of sunlight shining on it before it goes down. Kermit, we're getting questions from all over, like, where do you get your hats?
Meyer the Hatters.
Oh, yeah. That's a local shop.
Yeah, right there on St. Charles.
Yeah, what do you call that hat style you got there?
This hat is a Big Apple.
Big Apple. So you didn't get it in New York?
Right, we got it right here in New Orleans.
The Little Apple.
Yeah.
Little bowl of red beans, whatever we are. Okay, somebody else asks, what's the best red beans and rice in New Orleans? I mean, that's like asking what's, the best drink in New Orleans. I mean, I couldn't rate it. I mean, yours is great.
I was blessed, man. I grew up just in the kitchen with grandma and grandfather, just in the kitchen all the time. And then I got me a super recipe. I'm not going to tell you what's in it.
Right.
But I cook the best red beans in the world.
Well, that's Kermit's answer. But I have to point out, Kermit is the kind of guy who is wearing a T-shirt with his own name on it and the trumpet and playing the trumpet. So I would gather that anybody that grew up with their grandparents and watched closely probably is the best red beans and rice in New Orleans. Let's share the red beans.
Makes sense.
Yeah, something like that. What else is going on here? Oh, come on. Where does All Aboard come from?
All aboard. Well, you know my good friend Charlotte, the drummer with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Have you ever heard him play Night Train, I think it is?
Oh, yeah.
And Charlotte is playing the snare drum. He hollers, all aboard.
Okay.
Because when we started the Rebirth, we were studying the Dirty Dozen
Right.
and the Olympia Brass Band.
Yeah.
So the Rebirth is the Dirty Dozen and the Olympia Brass Band mixed together.
All right.
So that's what I always describe our band as, because that's all we listen to. And Charlotte used to holler. We used to play that song. We used to play that LP all the time. All aboard.
Having grown up
I stole a lot of stuff.
by a railroad station, I was always just thinking it's just the train call, you know? Hey, get on board the train. You know? People get ready. You're going to get on that train. Yeah, you know, go somewhere. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I never heard you tell that little story. I'm glad. I know you learned something from
Good
everywhere.
question, yeah.
There's a guy in New York City who's playing clarinet along with you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I wish we could hear that right now.
Yeah.
And, well, here's somebody once again saying a question that I think you kind of volunteered earlier the answer. Who is your biggest musical influence?
Oh, Louis Armstrong, for sure, by far.
Yeah, okay. And other than that, we got people in Philly, Saratoga, California, St. Louis, Baltimore, Edisto, South Carolina, Austin, Atlanta, Toronto, Boston. It sounds like almost like a poem. Fort Worth, East Village, New York City. And we're rolling here with the golden hour. We're getting near the end of that golden hour. I think we have time maybe for one more tune. What would you take us home with? Get us back on that train.
We're going to take you home with Sleepy Time Down South, just as we started.
Part 2.
Yeah,
Is that the one with the bebop part in it?
maybe so.
We'll see. We'll hear.
Thank you, music lovers. Thank you, worldwide listeners. Thank you, Nick.
You bet. And before we go, let's just say that got Z2, better known to his family as Yoshitaka Tsuji on piano from Japan, Kevin Morris on bass back there, and Jerry Anderson on drums. These guys have been knowing, living, loving, and suffering with Kermit for 33 years, we're told. And of course, Kermit Ruffins on the trumpet and the chin music, namely the singing and talking. The Barbecue Swingers, folks.
Thank y'all, music lovers. All aboard. Now, the pale moon shining on the fields below, and folks are crooning songs soft and low. You need tell me, girl, because I know, yes, when it's sleepy time down south, the south wind's blowing through the pinewood trees, and folks down here, they live a life of ease when that twilight brings that evening breeze. La-di-da-da-da. When it's sleepy time down south. Yes, steamboats up the river, coming and going, splashing the night away by the river. Hear those banjos ringing and the folks are singing, and they dance unto the break of day. La-dee-ah, dear old Southland with his dreamy song. You take me back there where I belong, right in New Orleans zone. Yeah, this up deep boppo, deep boppo, don't say, bibbly up, ba 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 ba. Oh, good evening, everybody.
One of our listeners, viewers wrote, "Thank you so much for this great way to kick off a Memorial Day weekend. Thanks to the New Orleans Jazz Historical National Park." And next week, we've got banjo man Don Vappy and the Creole Jazz Serenaders. I'm Nick Spitzer from American Roots. Wherever you may be, bonsoir, buenas noches, good night, and Lord have mercy beaucoup.